on the next episode of Sips, Suds, and Smokes.
Today's episode is a special and slightly romantic one. It was created by our resident holy man, Reverend Mark. Due to the pandemic, he and his lovely wife, Kat, had to postpone their honeymoon in Vegas. How sad is that? However, they recently made their visit and were nice enough to bring back some beer.
The Las Vegas beers we'll be tasting and discussing today are from the HUDL Brewing Company, a Vanilla Oak Cream Ale, and their Knack Knack West Coast IPA. From Abel Baker Brewing Company, the Atomic Duck American IPA, and the Excited State Unfiltered German Pilsner. And from Nevada Brew Works, their Blood Orange Hefeweizen and a Marzen.
We'll be right back after this break. Brought to you almost live from the Dude in the Basement Studios. Why? Because that's where the good stuff is. It's Sips, Suds, and Smokes with your smoking host, the good old boys. Suds, Suds, Suds. It's time for more Suds.
Hey there! How are you? Come on in and make yourself comfortable. This is another Suds segment where everything good in life is worth discussing. Everything great in life? Well, we tried discussing that once, but the FCC made us put a parental advisory warning at the beginning of the episode. So we can only do the good.
It's too hot for radio.
Exactly. I'm one of your hosts, good old Gal Juliana, and joining me today at the table is good old Boy Kendall.
It is a beautiful day to be here, and I'm happy to see you all.
Aw, that's so sweet.
Weak.
Isn't it? It's not weak. It's very sweet. It's Southern sweetness. Good old boy Mike.
I'm just glad that we're actually drinking beer for this episode.
Oh, now you're just being picky.
Oh, yeah.
Reverend Mark, hello.
Hello, and I want to send out a special hello to my lovely cat wife. Her name is Cat. I'm not married to a cat.
He's not married to a cat.
Well, there might be cats in their life too.
Yeah, we got two other cats, but she's the main cat.
Thing. Yeah.
Good old boy Dave.
You know the first rule is to stop digging, right? Correct. Okay, good.
Mike talked over my hello.
I'm sorry. Say
So
hello.
please say
No, I'm
hello.
done. You know what? I'm done. That's fine.
Are you sure?
Just make this about Mike today.
Oh,
Okay.
Isn't it always? Okay.
It's cool with me.
All right. Well, today's episode is a special and slightly romantic one. It was created by our resident holy man, Reverend Mark. Due to the pandemic, he and his lovely wife, Kat, had to postpone their honeymoon in Vegas. How sad is that? However, they recently made their visit and were nice enough to bring back some beer. Aww. As we go through the flight, Reverend Mark will share some stories about each brewery and maybe tell us a little bit about the rest of their visit to Sin City. So, without further ado...
That's why we were there.
Exactly. Please give us some background.
Well, thank you. It is so good to talk about this because it is sort of like our delayed honeymoon vacation that we had to put off because when we were married, we also were in the middle of the pandemic and we each had been diagnosed like 3 weeks before with COVID. So, we just thought not to travel and canceled everything temporarily and just now have been able to sort of re-engage this dream. Now, neither one of us cared to gamble, but the main reason we went, other than the beer, of course, I guess we'll determine whether that was worth it. But nonetheless, when we were there, we stayed at the Venetian Hotel, which was kind of like the Truman Show, just everything totally, mocked up, bigger, on a scale bigger than life, but a lot of fun nonetheless in terms of places to eat. What we did with the beer portion of the show the beer show that we're going to talk about today is that we just had a limited amount of time, the first part of Valentine's Day, and we discovered, of course, that most of the breweries in Vegas are near the Arts District. And so we took an Uber out in that area and realized that there was a lot more beer out there than we could bring back for one show.
Gotcha.
So we visited the top 3 breweries as we could assess it, by talking to local people and all that. And then as we put our focus on those 3 breweries, then we went into each one and then had to correspond with their taps in terms of what was also available in a can so we could bring some away. So this was kind of like a speed dating with beer. We did
Nice.
we did samples, and then of like 6 samples, we would pick 2 of that 6 that were our favorites. So this is the offering we have. We have 2 beers from 3 different breweries, which I hope are fairly representative of the beer scene there, which in my humble opinion, I think they're still kind of in their infancy there, even though Vegas in so many ways is, like one of the culinary centers of the country, but not for beer. I mean,
Gotcha.
these were good breweries, but it still struck me that they've still got a ways to go.
Interesting. Okay, cool. Well, good old Boy Kendall, why don't you give us today's lineup?
The Las Vegas beers we'll be tasting and discussing today are from the HUDL Brewing Company, a vanilla oak cream ale, and their Knack Knack West Coast IPA. From Abel Baker Brewing Company, the Atomic Duck American IPA, and the Excited State Unfiltered German Pilsner. And from Nevada Brew Works, their Blood Orange Hefeweizen and a Marzen.
Thanks, Kendall. Okay, the moment we've all been waiting for with bated breath. Good old boy Mike, please give us your Suds ratings. And since we're in Vegas, if you choose to go Elvis or Wayne Newton, have at it.
Oh, thank you very much. Appreciate it there, Juliana.
So he's going Wayne
We're going to
Newton.
be discussing and rating these beers with these Suds ratings plus our signature belching sounds. I hear those
Sanders?
ratings now. So, number 1, I'm all shook up. That sucks. Give me anything but the craps. Number 2. Every time I tell myself this, I shake my hips just a little bit more. Was that a bust? Number 3. I'll tell you, I'm getting a little hot up here under the collar because all you gorgeous women out there in the audience. Oh, what a relief. Newtown, some crappy Raiders. I got a hunk of burning love for number 4. A body should really not make that sound, even if they are in the Blue Man Group. And I did it my way. Number 5. Listen to that hang time. Give me another complimentary jumbo shrimp cocktail. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
King.
Thank you very much.
Elvis has left the building.
I like that.
Yeah.
Solidus, yes.
I think Elvis is going to be
I don't think
here.
Elvis was ever in
Thank
the
you
building.
very much.
This was everything.
Yeah.
Was it
I got
everything?
another show on Thursday at 3 o'clock. It's a matinee. Come on by. We're going to be serving some beer here from HUDL.
Was it everything you hoped it would be, Juliana?
Okay.
Oh, that was.
I think he's stuck in Elvis mode.
Yeah, that's
You
fine.
should just do the rest of the show
it
as
could
Elvis.
happen. I could do the whole show in Elvis. Yeah.
That's fine. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So the top 2 canned beers from HUDL. Let's start first with the vanilla
HUDL.
oak cream ale, 6% ABV. The nose is just the perfect amount of vanilla to get you excited, and then the grain bill provides the depth and balance for a classic beer style.
Vanilla oak.
In talking with the brewer too, this was not, there was no vanilla added. Of course, it's just vanilla from the oak if it's there or not.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's just faint on the nose. When I read the description, I was thinking, oh no, this is going to be an overpowering fake vanilla extract beer.
No,
But
exactly.
not.
No, they were just trying to go the vanilla that normally would
And I'm very
translate.
appreciative
Slightly
of
oaky,
that.
light ale. It's nice.
Almost like a little tiny oak tannic bite, but not much.
I like this.
It's it's nice.
It's very pleasant.
I like what it's not, which is not overdone. Exactly where you read it, Juliana, is to. I was afraid that they were going to add some adjunct, to bring the vanilla around, and it was just going to be overtly sweet and sugary, and
We put 1,000 Madagascar vanilla beans in this beer.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I mean, because it's all about the excess, right?
Yeah.
Which makes, I don't know about you guys, but it makes me cringe every time I see a vanilla cream ale on the menu.
This is very well balanced.
Oh, gosh.
And I have to say that each of the 3 breweries we went to, and we sampled 6 at each brewery, that one is Kat's best of and the other is my best of. So this was Kat's best of.
No, but I could see why she would like this. But I could see why, but all of us are kind of.
It's a nice beer flavored beer.
It is.
It's the base cream ale is really nice. It's clean. There's nothing distracting about it. And it really lets that little bit of oakiness from the barrel come out.
Which makes me think that we should be using oak for all of our cream ales. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To maybe to balance it out and not make it too sugary and too sweet.
It adds another dimension that usually a cream ale is just a summer kind of,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Quenching
cream
beer.
ales are an easy beer. I mean, a very easy beer, but yeah, this gives it a little zhuzh, so to speak. Well, what will we be rating?
Oh, Mike came
The
up with
fingers are up,
lots
ladies
of
and
fingers
gents.
from Mike. Wow.
This is a 4.
I didn't think he had that many fingers.
Sometimes.
No, look, this is super solid. It's so in style. I mean, you.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
It's really good.
It makes you actually want to have a cream ale.
I'm not
You know what I
questioning
mean?
the beer, Mike. I'm questioning you.
Yeah.
The person behind the beer. Yeah.
But Reverend Mark nailed it. Balance is the word for this beer. Everything just works together perfectly. Nothing stands out in an offensive way.
Well, apparently Kat's really good at picking beers.
At least that.
That's what I get out of all this. Yeah. Man,
Well,
maybe she is a bit of a gambler.
Wow. Cannot believe that
I know.
we went
How
there.
rude.
Yeah. But this gives me hope for
So what's your
cream ales.
reference cream ale? Like mine is Little Kings.
Me
So,
too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because really there's nothing.
I love New Heights, cream ales.
Yeah.
They're good.
Locally, the cream ale, nothing fancy at New Heights is really good.
Yeah, that one's pretty good.
Yeah. But but old school, gosh.
Yeah. Little Kings.
Yeah. I mean, is Jenny cream ale considered?
Yeah, Jenny's okay.
No, but
When you can
I
get it.
remember that as a youngster. You know what I mean? Because it was so readily available. But
Especially where you live.
yeah,
In that part of the country.
it was the thing. But we'll be back with more Vegas beers in just a
We'll be
minute.
right back. Babe.
Welcome back, everyone. Today we're taking a trip to Vegas.
That's right, baby. Elvis is in the building.
And we're on a little bit of a honeymoon of sorts for Reverend Mark and his wife, Kat. And we've been talking about a beer from HUDL Brewing Company. So let's move on to the next one. And Reverend Mark, what are we going to drink next?
This is the Knack Knack West Coast IPA. It's 7.2% ABV and 59 IBUs. And I was drawn to this one, because it was they had several really good IPAs on tap, but this was the one that is in the public in a can. And it also kind of goes into their history of how that this was named after a Supercross racing star that the brewer raced with and grew up with in San Diego. I was also drawn to it because it's a West Coast IPA, and he was from that area originally.
Sticky.
So anyway,
Very resonant.
of the 6 that was in my flight, this is the one that I took out the door with me.
Nice.
It's a really good example of, especially a San Diego style West Coast IPA.
Yeah.
The hop bitterness is quite assertive,
Yes. Yeah.
almost abrasive, but in a good way.
Oh, the aroma itself is just yum.
Yeah, this is all that deep resin and, the touch of burnt, sugars, on this. And
Everything that you want.
this is just, this is a good reference, West Coast IPA, all day long. Yeah, there's, man, I'm telling you, those are two really good, solid beers right there for sure.
Yeah.
So
the brewery's is doing some good things.
Was there a good crowd at Huddle when you were there? Or?
They were filing in, but my sense that it really is a local place. I mean, it's really not a Vegas place, even though it's in Vegas, but it's more in the arts district. And so as I was talking to them about even the name Huddle, it's like what the locals do. They huddle together in the midst of an otherwise very crazy and somewhat impersonal town. So
Yeah, I guess it can be, huh?
yeah.
No, Reverend Mark got the next one here. We're all
Sorry,
okay.
Yeah.
Production.
Sorry,
issue
reporting and passing. Yeah, this is definitely. I always forget the name of the brewery that went out of business.
Green Flash.
Yes,
I know.
Totally, this is totally right out of Green Flashes.
This is back
Yeah.
in the glory days
Yeah.
of the West Coast
Yeah.
IPA.
very much so. Yeah.
The palate burner.
Oh, this is great. And this takes me back to the first time I had a Green Flash beer,
Lagunitas.
which was at the pharmacy
Yeah.
with the Brew Club.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
those-
because Green Flash had just come to Nashville and everyone was freaking out. And what was it? Vert or Levert was another one. Rayon Vert.
Rayon
Rayon
Vert.
Vert. Yeah.
Yep. That was another one too, but I was so into the West
This
Coast.
would
it just blew me
definitely,
away.
stand up in all those very iconic, reference, West Coast IPAs. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, definitely shooting 2 for 2.
Oh, sure.
It's kind of in there with Firestone Walker a little bit. I mean, different. but
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and I'm sure you said the brewer was from San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I mean, he had a nice.
For all we know, he worked at,
Right. But I mean, but he had some nice references to grow up with.
And this was sort
you
of
know,
his homage to where he's from.
Yeah, yeah.
Even though they had several good
Stone.
deepas and all.
Yeah,
on tap. So,
sure. No, this is nice, and I'm really happy that the West Coast IPA is coming back around, and maybe with slightly variants of the hop profile, but still. Okay, we're gonna rate this one. Looks like it's a 4 as well.
Nice job, Huddle.
Go huddle there anytime you can.
So I have some fun facts to share as we go along today.
Fun facts.
Fun facts. So there are nearly 300 weddings that happen every day in Las Vegas. How many annulments do you think there are on average?
200.
200.
298. So there.
So the odds are against you even there. Huh?
There you go. Yeah.
Part of that may not be actually
Are you playing with
facts.
house money then? So yeah. Is there a lawyer in the house? That's the only winners.
Wow,
Yeah, for
that's
sure.
nuts.
Yeah. So how many wedding chapels do you think there are associated with such?
There's got to be at least
60.
600.
Ooh, that's really close. There's 50 wedding chapels in Vegas
That
itself.
honestly seems low to me.
Yeah, it seems like there would be
So
more.
I have a quick associated stories. My brother-in-law and sister-in-law got married in Vegas, and I love the story of who married them at one of the wedding chapels. The person that officiated, his name was Johnny B. Love.
Johnny B. Love.
That's cute.
And so I was just like,
Was he an Elvis
well,
impersonator guy?
I know.
or-
Maybe he did that on the side, that was his side hustle was, he was Elvis, Monday through Thursday. On the weekends,
Yeah.
he was Reverend Johnny B. Love.
Johnny B. Love.
That's right.
I like how some of those wedding chapels are actually drive-throughs.
Yes. Because nothing will solidify a rock solid marriage with, a bag of fries and a marriage certificate.
Yeah.
You want ketchup?
Yeah. You want,
So,
you want a prenup with that?
yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. But I mean,
Hey.
That's Vegas. Yeah.
When in
Our
Vegas.
Love Sealed by Johnny B. Love.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we got married before we went there, so we were banking the odds in our favor.
You didn't want to go to walk away with a story like that?
Not at all. No.
I don't know if this is still true, but like Gatlinburg, Tennessee is like number 2.
Oh, yeah.
after
My sister
Vegas.
got married there.
Yeah, there's a bunch of wedding chapels. Good old Gal June and I got married in
That's
Gatlinburg.
right. That's right.
Oh, geez, and here we were getting all.
And did they have all their natural teeth?
They did.
Mostly.
The local Baptist pastor married us,
Oh,
and he had
yeah.
all his teeth.
All right.
Cool.
Do you take this woman?
I may open up
if
a wedding
yes,
chapel.
Stamp twice. If no, stamp once.
That's bad. just ding. That's just bad. Okay,
More beer.
moving on.
More beer.
Let's go
Banned once
to
again.
Able Baker Brewing Company. Tell us a little bit about that, Reverend Mark.
Yeah, that was a really interesting place. Of course, the etymology or where their name came from goes back to the first 2 atomic bombs that were detonated at the Nevada test site. And so the test explosions were codenamed by the military's phonetic alphabet of the time, making the first 2 tests an Able and a Baker.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
And so Able Baker is sort of,
Gotcha.
referencing that history. And so, everything on their menu practically has something about that's written up that relates to the nuclear.
Do they have like the Fallout fries and the
They did. I mean, they did. They really went,
Nice.
Mushroom-
into the shelter with it.
Yeah.
mushroom cloud burger?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's funny. All right. Well, let's go to the first offering from this brewery, and that's the Atomic Duck
us about the
American
duck.
IPA. Yeah. Tell us about the duck.
Well, yep. Again, this one was my choice. Although both were our choices, and I liked them both. But this is the one I got the vote on, and I liked it because of the hop foundation. It seemed to be, and these are some of my notes I'm reading from at the time: citrus, tropical, so forth, with pine, and it was named, of course, after the mascot and brand ambassador, the Atomic Duck, which I guess had to do with just as they opened their shop, the Atomic Duck had something to do with the mascot of the parade, or the trying to go back to that history.
Gotcha.
That's what they put on the actual bombs. They painted a duck on it. For the kids.
yeah, sure.
Yeah. You always want to try to make nuclear annihilation kid friendly.
Yeah, exactly.
True. True. Yeah. Yeah. Good
Hey
association.
kids, I'm Andy the Atom.
This one to me was almost up there with the HUDL, but a little different.
Okay. So this one is 7% ABV.
That's a
88
good
up.
straight up IPA.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you, Reverend Mark. This is up there, but it's totally different. Whereas the Huddle's IPA was classic West Coast, 2000, 2010 IPA.
Yeah.
This is a 2020 modern IPA.
Right.
The caramel is gone. It's not even there.
Super
Right.
light
It's
body.
all fruit forward, still bitter, but very much the modern American IPA.
It's
Yeah.
squeaky clean.
That's a good way to differentiate that. It does kind of it's a little bigger than like the old school Liberty Ale, but it's similar in the sense of not having the caramel malt.
It's a tad watery, but I love the hot blend, and
Have some more?
it just is super squeaky clean finish.
another?
That's why I'm digging it.
Yeah.
And it is a little thin, but I think that's why I like it. It's just it's almost a crusher, even at 7%.
yeah.
Dude, I love the can. The can art.
I know. The Atomic Duck.
Duck on a mushroom cloud.
Yeah.
Oops.
I like it.
It's very nice. It's very easy. It doesn't taste 7% to me.
Not at all.
And very crushable.
Almost presents more like a
5.
pale ale. than an IPA, but I think that's why I enjoy it, because you could put away a few of these.
Yeah, you can. And it's got a nice juiciness. You know,
Bitterness lingers a little bit for me, but I still like it.
And I do believe of all the canned products they have, this is their best seller.
Okay.
I could see that.
Yeah, and I could
Especially
totally
in the
see
heat
that.
of Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, when you're trying to definitely create an IPA that is going to be drive a lot of revenue, you really have to hit right down the middle and, choose a taste profile that is not going to be aggressive and not going to be weak and is going to appeal to a very broad range of palates. Yeah. I think they've succeeded with this.
Yeah, and that's a good point, because I've heard somebody disparaging breweries for making, easy for the masses to drink beer, but this proves you can still do that. Yeah. Sell the beer and make a really good beer doing it, even going for that very common denominator that everybody's going to enjoy.
Yeah, those are the same people that rip on bands for writing good songs. Sold out, man.
Yeah, and with Abel Baker and the other two breweries that we visited, they had 5 or 6 that were kind of like you say, the crowd pleasers, but then they had a lot of experimental stuff going on, and so there was you could tell they had one-offs, if you were local. And again, they are really kind of catering for the locals.
That's good.
I mean, I saw some of their beer on tap once I got back up into the Vegas Strip, but no, this is really kind of where locals go.
Oh, that's good.
That's where the good stuff is.
That's good. All right.
What do you think about it?
I liked it. I liked it a lot. And what I liked about it was it's very approachable. It's very drinkable. The citrus to balance out the hops was nice. And again, a very modern IPA, but very doable. And I could see why it's a crowd pleaser.
I was going to say, could you see taking a 4-pack of this out to Lake Mead, checking out, see what kind of bodies have recently become.
Is Lake Mead still there?
Can you still call it a lake?
A little bit.
It's
of
more
it.
like a pond now.
Yep.
Yeah, I could, because I probably would need this as I'm finding the furry creatures or whatever. All right, we are going to rate the Atomic Duck American IPA a solid 4.
This show's going different.
I'm just telling you, I can always tell when we're drinking good beer because we are finishing all of the samples in front of us. That's like the ultimate
That's
compliment.
huge,
actually
right?
So that is huge
seconds.
for us. So as much beer as we have to consume, for each show.
This was really kind of like get in, get out. So I was thinking, I hope these beers, are the way I remember them.
Okay, so now let's
have a fun fact.
Let's get excited here, right? Fun fact. Yep, let's go fun fact.
The consumption of shellfish in Las Vegas is over 60,000 pounds per day.
Holy cow!
That's higher than the rest of the United States combined. Makes total sense that a landlocked city in the middle of the desert would eat more shellfish than the entire rest of the country.
Nuts.
Wow,
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't think seafood when I think Vegas.
I think it's all you can eat crab legs at the buffet.
Oh yeah,
Definitely
the lobster tails.
Not going to dent in that for sure. Yeah,
at the High Rollers Club.
All right.
Wow.
Sorry.
All right.
Next beer.
Let's get excited about the Excited State Unfiltered German Pilsner.
I'm very excited, baby.
So with the Excited State Unfiltered German Pilsner, as they remind us on the menu, in atomic terminology, when an atom or nucleus possesses more than its normal energy, it enters into an excited state. That's both the name of our German-style Pilsner as well as the condition that you'll achieve after tasting it. There you go. It's done in a very conventional
This is
way.
why we're not invited to the marketing meetings.
So take it from there.
I haven't even tasted it yet, but the aroma of this is beautiful.
This is what? I'm sorry, what style?
Unfiltered German Pilsner.
An unfiltered German Pilsner.
Those Wickle pills.
Wow, good luck. This table is really into unfiltered pilsners, and we've had some really good ones. I don't know. My first thing is that it's just too watery. It's very thin.
It seems pretty clear for being unfiltered.
It's very clear for being unfiltered, and
That's the one thing I noticed.
Yeah.
it's a delicious beer. man, it doesn't have the bitterness I want out of a German Pils.
Yeah.
It's somewhere between a Helles and a Pils to me. I mean, it's got a great malt character, and I'm getting that in the aroma, that little bit of doughiness, a little bit of light toasted white bread. But I'm not getting the
bitterness comes in like right at the end.
Yeah.
It's
a little
there,
sharp, but
you kind of want it like all the way through a little bit more, I think.
I think you should just call it a straight up Pilsner and just, I think when they said unfiltered, it triggered us.
Yeah. Because we get excited about an unfiltered.
It's going to have a certain texture and body to it, and this doesn't. If I just said this is a solid Pilsner, we'd all go, this is a solid Pilsner.
This
Good Pilsner.
It's crazy that it's unfiltered. Boy, that yeast sure dropped out of that beer because it is almost crystal clear.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think of like the unfiltered cask Urakel that I had a few years ago.
Pilsner Kel Unfiltered.
Yeah.
You're not going to find nothing better.
No, you're not. And I think because we've all had that at the table, that's the reference standard. So, the stakes are high when you talk about it unfiltered.
Yeah, and I think that's where I'm at. This is a bit of a swing and a miss, and personally, I think if you just called it like it is and called it a solid Pilsner, I think you'd been a lot better off. And I think that's what kind of triggered me to go, you didn't quite hit the mark that you're describing it as. So,
right. I think it's more of a naming or description miss than a brewing
beer
miss.
is bad.
Yeah. No. And I mean, let's qualify this as a Pilsner. It's a solid Pilsner.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think being a Pilsner, especially, that it really does capture kind of a commonplace market. Don't mean that in any condescending way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean that in a very popular way. This is something that a lot of people would like.
Oh, sure.
The way I judge any good German lagers, would I drink 2 or 3 of these? And that's absolutely yes.
Yeah, I'd have one and done.
Okay. Well, we are going to rate the Excited State Unfiltered German Pilsner from Abel Baker a 3.
Nice.
You want a quick fun fact here?
Yep.
Again?
Do it.
All right, let's see. The first telephone in Las Vegas was installed in 1907 at the Hotel Nevada, and a plaque still commemorates it in the Golden Gate Hotel and Casino. The first call ever made was to an escort service.
Oh, no.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
And we'll be back in a second.
Oh.
Howdy, folks. Welcome back. We are doing a little romantic getaway to Vegas today, and we are talking about a little honeymoon trip that Reverend Mark and his wife Kat took to the fine city of
Sin.
I wasn't going to say that.
Well, you take your honeymoon in a city that never sleeps, you know?
That's right. Because honeymooners never sleep. That's right.
Okay.
Reverend Mark, tell us a little bit. You guys have any good food while you were there?
Oh, my. Yeah, that's all we did, aside from drink beer.
Crab legs.
So, yeah.
Shellfish.
Yeah. We had 6,000 pounds of shellfish.
As I mentioned,
a free T-shirt.
The first half of the day was our brewery tour, and then we went back to the hotel room, kind of relaxed, took a little nap. And
we don't need all those details.
Yeah, too much information. Then we, for our Valentine's dinner, we went to Thomas Keller's Bouchon. And, he's the French Laundry guy.
Oh, wow.
And so we had a 3-course Valentine's meal with wine pairings. And it was just, because we weren't gambling, that's where all our money went. That one meal kind of broke the house. Not really, but it was worth it. It was really, really worth it. So that was sort of the top of it. But we also, more towards the end of the strip, in towards the Arts District, we went to Pizza Rock. And Tony Giamatti, who is like a 12-time pizza champ.
And mafioso.
Yeah, has ovens all over the country. And this is where he's got like about 5 or 6 different ovens just in this one restaurant.
Nice.
So they have everything from, of course, your Napolitano, to New York style, to Chicago, to Detroit, you name it. So we did some good sampling there. So yeah, a lot of good food. The highlight though, entertainment wise, was that we took in Cirque Soleil's O, and I really would highly recommend that. That's in the Bellagio, and it's a water themed show, and I know that they had to recruit a lot of people from Olympic like diving champions and all. But it was just mesmerizing.
Probably got some of those guys from Casa Bonita.
Yeah.
Get on
could be. Yeah.
No better cliff divers than those guys.
What do you do in
true.
retirement? You go to Cirque du Soleil.
Yeah. So we really came away feeling as though we had budgeted ourselves in a good way, and
Nice.
and brought back a case of beer or so.
Well, we
Nice.
appreciate it.
Yeah, we do. All right. Well, talk about the next brewery, Nevada Brew Works.
Yeah, and this was the last of the three that we got to visit, and it turned out we kind of hung out with them and had lunch at that point, and so they were the smallest of the three that we visited, but they were kind of in line with the other two breweries. It's almost like a beer mall or a beer. It's like an outside thing, but you just go from one to the other to the other. So anyway, it was a place where I felt it was had a little bit more of a family vibe to it. Which kind of years ago when I started seeing families show up in brew pubs, I thought, well, okay, maybe this is European. But this was like they had created, a lot of outdoor space and kind of a dog friendly sort of environment.
Yeah,
and
cool.
so yeah, so
Kids are basically dogs.
yeah.
They don't poop by the tree.
I'm not so sure about that.
Well, I mean, I guess they would if you let them.
What tree?
Yeah,
No trees in Vegas.
he's probably save on diapers.
I did notice that they did get the Best of Vegas award for a brewery, at least for several years recently, and they are they really kind of put more emphasis on themselves being a microbrewery and not sort of a distribution brewery, although they do a little of that.
Gotcha.
So
Interesting.
All right.
Cool.
What's the first beer? Is this Marzen?
Yep. First beer is going to be the Marzen, 6% ABV. Okay. What are your...
yeah, they listed no IBUs when I dug into their info. So anyway, I'm sure that it's better than that.
Yeah, this is a typical, fall, beer. This is a beer style I always have a lot of difficulty in having, a lot of these back to back. So I like that we're having this not quite in the fall season when we're tasting it right now. Mm-hmm. So it's nice that you kind of look at it for what it is and how it stands in the glass. But I don't know, this, I'm generally looking for that burnt caramel, component, in this style of beer. And that seems to be the one thing that's missing in this. The body, of this seems to be kind of a bit on the weak side.
I'm really enjoying it. I think it's super clean, even though it's got a big malty finish. You get that kind of dark bread that you're looking for. I was just checking the style guidelines for this. I haven't looked at them in a while, but it calls the malt soft and elegant. And I think you can say that about this beer. It's very easy drinking.
Yeah, I'll buy that.
I think I like it for the reason, kind of like while you were saying you have difficulty with it, Mike, because sometimes they're too big or too sweet.
They are.
Or,
They get
whatever.
way too sweet. And if there's not, some bitterness or, to kind of balance it all
Just
out,
enough.
it gets lost. And, I'm very guilty of, thinking of a reference beer. It's like somebody says Marzen, I'm like Hawker Shore all day long. I'm like, is this better or good as, Hawker Shore is going to be? So
I like the way even though it's got a little sweetness in the middle from all that malt, with the bitterness kind of settles it down, and then it almost dries out in the finish.
I think I agree with that. Yeah.
And I get a breadiness to it that's appropriate for this style.
yeah, that's the one word I've heard everybody say. The breadiness and malty component seems to be a the backbone, you know, of this.
Yeah.
And it's what's keeping it within style. Barely.
I'll admit, I generally am not a fan of this style because most of them aren't made very well. But
Yes.
this is an enjoyable beer, and I could put away a stein of it.
And I think I like this beer, especially because I was eating. It just it
It would be a great
It
food
went
beer.
well. Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's
Yeah.
definitely a big pretzel, mustard, you know.
Oh, sure. Sure.
Brought.
Definitely a brat. It would go well. That kind of malty richness would kind of contrast the pork
Very
fattiness.
typical Oktoberfest beer.
Yeah, some good schnitzel or something. Yeah. What'd you think, Julie?
It was I'm going to be the outlier here, and I'm going to say it was kind of meh for me. I just wasn't I'm sorry, I wasn't feeling it. I just felt like it was just more bread than anything else, and I wanted a little hop or something like to balance it out, and I just got a lot of bread. But that's just me. That's just me.
I think it's tough to drink this style without food.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah,
Well,
to
it's
have it
kinda
by itself,
made
it's just
to have
This
food.
is an Oktoberfest
You
beer.
need something. Salt is, you know.
Oh,
I think it's usually the
absolutely.
key thing it's missing. You know.
Yeah.
In drinking this, so.
Salty food would really
Yeah.
set
Some
us off.
fat.
like I say, I
You
think
know.
it's the lunch that pushed me in the direction of okay, this one I can take with me.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, and for what they have at that brewery, pizza, burgers, and cheese curds. Well, there's a lot of good food to go
I'd eat some
with
cheese
it.
curds with this.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
right?
I would.
Yeah. Shoot.
Okay, we are going to rate the Marzen from Nevada Brew Works a 3.
So, another fun fact for Las Vegas. Let's see. How much money do you think the gambling and actually contributes to the revenue of Las Vegas?
$1 billion
Percentage or dollar?
A percentage, yeah.
to their total revenue.
Is it a third? Is it half? Is it 75%?
60%.
Any other guesses?
80?
Yeah, that's another guess.
20%.
Ooh, another guess.
90.
Ooh. Kendall was closest. It's actually about 47%.
Really?
Kendall's always
Sorry, it's
closest.
43%
Kendall's
is
a good
the
guesser.
total amount. And it is a staggering amount of money. It's $36.9 billion.
Wait, and that's 40%.
Yes.
So what is bigger than that?
Probably hotel revenues.
Okay.
Other tourist attractions.
Escorts.
Food service.
Okay.
Yeah. That's
Because I mean,
crazy.
it's a convention mecca.
Yeah. Conventions
Yeah,
probably make
okay.
up a lot
That's
of
where
that.
the biggest thing is.
22,000 conventions in Vegas every year.
Wow.
Grief, man.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And they have like Formula One there now, you know, things like that.
Oh, well, yeah.
If you don't
sure.
have a Formula One race,
I mean,
you're not
yeah.
a city.
You're
I
a
mean,
jerk. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, so we're going to go across the bridge right here.
Okay, so let's talk about the last one. Reverend Mark?
Yeah, this is the blood orange Hefeweizen. It's a 5.4%. Again, they didn't list their
That's funny.
IBUs.
See, it says B.O. Heffy on it, and I was going, this doesn't smell like B.O.
That would be some weird marketing.
And I was a little wary of this one. Like I say, I don't necessarily feel as though, you know, you need to add citrus to a Heffy, you know, when they do that. But I felt as though it kept the blood orange.
Oh, it
The blood
tastes
orange
way
itself
better
kind of
than
kept it
B.O.
in balance. And like I say, with Kat, it was she just loved it because it was like a beer mimosa for her.
That's a good description.
That's a very
Yeah.
good description of it. Yeah.
yeah.
I'm not a big Hefeweizen fan, and I'm not really a huge blood orange fan.
But you
Somehow
can
they kind of work together. You know.
kind of two negatives make a positive.
There you go.
Yeah,
Definitely smells like a Hefeweizen.
I'm getting a ton of just that orange, the blood orange off of the aroma, but it works really good.
Yeah,
in
and
this.
it's
It
a
really
different kind of
complements-
orange. Yeah.
It really complements the base beer. It's really nice, and it covers up what I probably don't like most about Heffies is that big banana note.
Yeah.
And you're not getting that. The either it's masked or it wasn't there in the first place.
It's definitely been obliterated.
yeah,
Yep.
it's really good.
I almost feel like they fermented it in a way where it didn't have it. Like I don't know if it was the yeast they used or the temperature or whatever, but
Yeah, a lot of it's temperature.
yeah.
Yep.
I don't know about flavored Heffies. You know, I'm kind of on the fence. It's one of those things where you go down that adjunct alley and, it's like, why are you screwing up a good beer to begin with?
So right? Are you a Hefeweizen guy?
Yeah, I like good Hefeweizen. And it's just when you start to do something, beyond that it's like, really, can you just leave it alone? If I want to add an orange, I'll add an orange to it, from that perspective, I feel like kind of that choice got ripped out of my hands, that I'm going to get to choose, to add that, into the beer itself. But at the same time, when I look at the balance of this, it's not overtly done. So it's not, the blood orange is not just completely obscuring everything that's there. The base beer is still there. It's fairly in check. It's a little on the sweet side for me.
Almost reminds me of a Belgian wit a little bit,
And wheat beers being also fairly dry, Hefeweizens have a little bit more of that, of course, banana and even clove aspect because of the yeast, but nonetheless, they're still fairly like a neutral slate or palate over against which any kind of flavor is going to come out. So. I don't know what the ratio, but it doesn't strike me like they added a lot to just make it its appearance. So,
no, this is rather unique, and I think you all are hitting on it. Normally, you put fruit in a Heffy, it gets weird, but this one doesn't. It's enjoyable.
What do you think, Julie?
I'm pleasantly surprised by it because when I first saw blood orange Hefe, I was thinking, oh, okay, this is, going to be a little heavy in the scheme of things. But I like that they use blood orange and just not regular orange citrus. I thought that was a nice little twist. And again, they fermented this well, to complement the blood orange, which, think about it. How many blood orange beers have we had? Or does one have?
We've had many.
Right. And they tend to go a little sideways at times, for lack of a better word. So this is very pleasant. And for those people and they are out there, the ones that absolutely adore the Hefes, they're not us, but they're there somewhere. I think they're really going to appreciate something like this.
And this one also traveled well. The fact that it even translated out of a can.
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
So.
Yeah, no, this is cool. But
tasty.
to reference Kat's beer mimosa, this would be probably a welcome beer at the honky tonks downtown and for the bachelorette parties, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think this is well made for the audience they're probably serving.
All right, so we are going to rate the blood orange Hefeweizen from Nevada Brew Works a 3, 4. Where we go? 4.
We'll go 4.
4. Well, any last thoughts about Vegas?
I'm just surprised how good the beer is out of Vegas. That's I never would have thought that, but it's really good.
Well, I kind of came into this conversation with a little bit of caution because of just kind of like the layout of the brewery scene. You can tell that they're still kind of getting established, and so. When I said they were in their infancy, in some ways they are in terms of just sort of the industrial aspect of it, but it looks like they're hitting on some good notes here.
Well, I think part of it might be too, like, as we live in a tourism driven town, and that's a tourism driven town. It sounds like where Reverend Mark went was more like you follow the locals.
Absolutely.
You go where the locals drink versus even some places here that are down in the touristy sections, the beers are kind of more hit and miss.
Right.
But like if you go where the locals drink, you're going to find solid stuff.
Yes, you will.
Yeah, true. All right. Well, that is going to wrap it up for us today. And this actually makes me excited to go out there and try some beers from Vegas, knowing that they have a decent beer scene and that it's not all just excessive.
I'm ready to go have some shellfish.
Yep. Yeah, and that too. Good old boy Kendall, thanks so much for being here.
Yeah, follow me and good old Gal June as we travel around the state of Tennessee drinking at every brewery in 2023 at bm3.beer.
Cool. Good old boy Mike.
Hey, thanks for joining us on this episode of Sip, Suds, and Smokes. I'll ask you to keep on sipping.
And say hello to your little sidekick, Elvis, too.
Oh, thank you very much.
Reverend Mark, thanks so much for this episode.
Thank you. It's good to share the joy.
Thank you, Reverend Mark.
Good old boy, Dave.
Thanks, Kat. We know you were the real hero here.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes. Thank you, Kat. We miss you. You need to come by sometime. This is good old Gal Juliana. Keep on chuggling and catch you next time.
We hope you enjoyed this episode. If you're listening to us online, do yourself a favor and tap
Tap it in.
the subscribe button.
Give it a little tappy. Tap, tap, tap-a-roo.
The easiest way to listen to our show is to ask Siri, Alexa, Google, Uncle Larry, or whoever it is that talks to you on your phone. Play podcast Sip, Suds, and Smokes. We love your feedback, and you can reach us at info@sipsudsandsmokes.com. Our tasting notes flow out on Twitter and Instagram with our handle @SipSudsAndSmokes, and our Facebook page is always buzzing with lots of news. You'll also be able to interact with the thousands,
Millions and millions
of other fans on those social media platforms. Do us a favor. Take the time to rate this episode if you're listening to us online. That's a big help to us, and we get to see your feedback as well. Come back, join us for another episode, and keep on sipping.
This has been a One Tan Hand production of Sip, Suds, and Smokes, a program devoted to the appreciation of some of the finer slices of life. From the Dude in the Basement Studios, your hosts, the Good Old Boys, will see you all next time.